Hello, this is Alison Proffit with Profit Talks, and I'm so excited for our guest today. I'm joined by Donald Kelly, and his organization is the Sales Evangelist. And as you guys know, sales is one of the things I'm passionate about after trying to be successful in my own business and failing a couple of times, and then finally learning the art of sales and how it can be really fun. And so I'm just so excited to have Donald here with me today, and we're just going to be getting to know each other a little bit better and talking about sales and how we might be able to give you some little tips on selling more effectively. So Donald, hi, how are you today?
Hey, Allison, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it. And I'm grateful to be able to be here and to be able to share some insights, something, maybe one or two things that can help a couple of listeners who are listening, who are struggling with their sales. And hey, maybe we can solve a little problem over the next hour or whatever time.
I love that. I love that you're like, let's talk for an hour. Because sometimes we're like, what am I going to talk about for an hour? Can we do this in 20 minutes? So we're just going to see where the conversation evolves to. And maybe it'll be 20 minutes and maybe it'll be an hour. So I love that. So tell us, Donald, a little bit about your background and your company, the Sales Evangelist. I'd love to just know more about your journey.
Yeah, so I wash my hands too, by the way. I just touch my eyes. So in these day and age, you can't touch your eyes or your nose or your mouth.
That's
And
right.
if I do, don't worry, I wear my mask. So,
Awesome. Safety
but
first, people.
but my sales background extends from my experience growing up as a kid in Jamaica. As a Jamaican, you're always hustling. You're always trying to sell. And anyone who's been to the Caribbean, you know what it's like. It's Jamaica's a third world country, and in that sense, there are the economy is not like fantastic for everybody. So if you can go to school, and Jamaica has one of the best education systems out there, and their biggest export are their people, because people get the great education, go to Canada or UK or US or South America, the countries where they can go to and take advantage of opportunities for work. So those who are left in Jamaica, however, how are you going to survive? What do you got to do? And it's about hustling. It's about finding ways. And I say hustle not in a derogatory or mean way, but it's the idea of working hard and doing whatever is ethical and necessary to be able to take care of your family. That might be go pick mangoes and sell mangoes, or it might be getting products and selling those products on the street, or clothes, or whatnot. You have to make it happen. So it's actually a concept that we gauge my book towards. My book is called Sell It Like a Mango. We're still working on a tagline. And it's like how so many people in Jamaica had to do whatever you have the same exact product that everyone else is selling, but how do you stand out and transform yourself and your family? So now going forward, now looking at my background, I came to the United States when I was 9, grew up here, and I was one of those kids that if you want to get money, you have to figure it out, because your parents are not just gonna give you tons of money. So I started selling candy at the store. I mean, getting candy from the store and selling them at school to my friends. And then that went later on to like college, where I started to find other opportunities. And in high school, I did the same kind of stuff, where I was finding little odd end jobs to make money, creating a little business during the holidays or whatnot. And in college, my friends just all said, you should go into sales. You're pretty good at that. And don't ever do sales because people say you should do it, because you will not necessarily succeed. It's people say you have a great personality for sales. There's so many different personality types for sales,
I
and that's a whole nother
agree.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be
So,
continued,
um,
part two.
so that led to me going into, I did Dish Network sales over the phone. I did timeshare presentation, where I was like a BDR, getting people to commit to a timeshare presentation. Then I did door-to-door security sales. I even sold IT training classes, and then as a server as well. So all of these things build up my business to consumer acumen. And then later on, after I was graduating now in a marketing degree, they didn't have a sales program at the time at the university I was at. I said, well, what if I was to go into the sales world? And I had an opportunity and started doing sales and loved it. But I didn't know what I was doing in the sense in the professional B2B world now.
Right.
And I equate it to getting kicked in the face. And I was fortunate that I went through some training with an organization, and that training helped to catapult my performance. And I started to outbeat some of the top the individuals had 15, 10 plus years my senior selling. And it wasn't because I was any better. It's because the fact that I followed the process. And I was like, this is ridiculously simple. Like, why can't everyone do this? Like, I was struggling, and fortunately I got the experience to get training, but so many other people are out there who are getting out of college or selling or trying to do their business and they don't know how to do it. So I was like, let's start to share this. And my buddy was like, you're like an evangelist for sales. And the funny part about that, Guy Kawasaki, I have a book on my shelf. It's The Art of the Start. And Guy Kawasaki in the book talks about how, well, he mentioned that he was the Apple's chief evangelist. And the only time I ever heard that term was church. So coining that in college to business. And then now with my friend saying you're like an evangelist, it was like, it makes sense. So we should be the sales evangelist. Let's evangelize effective selling. And that's how the brand started to grow. And I did that, just moonlit. I was doing my full-time corporate thing. I was doing well, making decent money, paying off bills. Wife and I got married, paid off debt. And I got people started asking, can I help coach them? And I helped people in my community at that time who were my network on Facebook. And then, and if you guys could hear that, that's my 1-year-old. He's out there.
Your coworker. Just very noisy.
It's my vocal coworker. Those cubicle walls aren't strong enough anymore. But then it started to, I got fortunate to get mentioned in an entrepreneur article. And then from there, we got mentioned in another article, and it gave us opportunities that we didn't have before. And then we started to get more, when I said we, this was me at the time and my wife. And then, but the podcast started getting a little bit more notoriety. And then we got some sponsors and training and speaking opportunities. And we made a plan that if there was a moment that I could hit X in revenue, bring X amount of dollars home from the side hustle and do it for 3 months in a row, then we will consider jumping ship, or I would at that point. And we did that, and it made sense. And I jumped ship and jumped off in a little boat, never looked back. And now we're developing that little boat into like a little, couple engine, and we're still not quite a full yacht yet, but we're getting there. And then eventually, hopefully get to our cruise liner.
Oh my gosh. I love this story of your business, Donald. So when did you step into the boat, may I ask?
The boat jumped in July. It was July 2015. We started the process. I remember going into I have to get the recording and probably share that. I went going to my supervisor's office. I took my phone and I put it in my top pocket. I was like, I just have to at least document it. And I recorded myself telling her that I expired. Didn't say it quite like that, but that there was another opportunity that I had, and I was going to take advantage of, and decided to go for that. And but I left in 2015. August was official, the month when I was off of payroll. August 2015, August 1, 2015. But 2 weeks prior to that, in July, they said, you're not going to really do much in here anyway, so bye-bye.
Wow. Yeah. So 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago, full-time, and I was moonlighting for 2 years before that. So
yeah, what a beautiful story. And I think it just goes to show that whatever your entrepreneurial journey is, like, it doesn't have to look exactly the same as everybody else's. And I just love how organic it was, and you set some goals, and you had a vision, you had a belief in your heart, it sounds like, and you went and did it. Because I think that, like, we have to sell the idea to ourselves and really believe that it's possible in order for your business to be successful. How would you respond to that statement?
100%. There's one of the programs that we partnered with. So I'm just going to show you these. They're just so happen to be on my desk here, but this is called Thought Patterns. And this one is called, it's the equivalent to this, but this is for sales. Yeah. We partner with an organization called the Pacific Institute, and we are doing some mindset and basically using neuroscience to understand how we think and how that helps us to develop our mindset. And it's the sales component of that leading, and then we do Sales Evangelist, our organization, do more of the tactical. Now, how do you do the phone calls or the emails and so forth? But mindset, and then the other side, mindset and skill set. So going back to your statement, I I used to say, if anyone has a desire to succeed, they can succeed in sales. After going through this program and developing this now with the sales components with the Pacific Institute, and sharing and teaching their content now on the neuroscience part, I came to realize this belief. If
Yeah.
somebody believe that they can succeed, then we can train them. Because I've seen people, so you obviously have, because if you have the belief, then you have the desire automatically. But you have to believe. Believing is like you're seeing something that you are, or envisioning or practicing something that you probably don't have yet. And
Yeah.
it's like, I know I can be a seller, but I just don't know how to get there. Then
Yeah.
we can train you. And
Yeah.
so going back to the belief that you must have that belief in your business as a small business owner, because if you don't have that belief, nobody else is going to believe. Nobody's going to say, well, I'm going to believe in Alison's business so much that I'm just going to give her all my belief power and that she's going to succeed. No,
Yeah.
when you have this belief, you do whatever. You stay up late night, you get up early morning, you go out and you find opportunities underneath rocks because you believe that you have a mission to help the world.
Yeah, I love that so much. And there's a statement, and I'm sure maybe it's a quote from somewhere, but it's just like faith is more powerful than proof, right? It's like whether that's a spiritual aspect or just like in your own skills or strengths or success or whatever, it's like believing that it will be like the proof is going to follow when you stay in that belief. And there's so much mindset work. And for those of you that know my business, you might be asking yourself, why would Alison you be talking to somebody that does the work that you do? And I think the reason is because we can all learn from each other, and there's billions of people on this earth. So I mean, we do similar work, Donald, really, because I incorporate the mindset work and then the teaching part of it, because my background in HR and as a certified coach really helps me do that mindset work, because I really think that like it does start with self-love, right? I mean, if you have that love and acceptance for yourself, your belief in your business or in your life, whatever your trajectory is, it will guarantee your success. And I think then it's just like the teaching the mechanics piece of it
Yes.
is of course that part is important, because I mean, my background in HR, like we would hire people all the time and be like, we know we can teach you how to do this other stuff. It's the technical, mechanical stuff that's specific to our organization. And so the message is like, it's all about collaboration versus
Yeah.
competition. I mean, I love what you're doing, and we got connected through a mutual connection. And it's just so fun to be able to know there's other people who have similar but very different stories, and yet here we are both sitting here succeeding and serving people in similar ways. And I think that there needs to be, or not needs to be, but there can be more of that. And when we have more of that, it's just creating this energetic vibrational resonance in the world, where it's like the rising tides lift all of the boats. It's not like Donald is more successful than me. I mean, obviously you've been doing your business for 7 years and I've been doing mine for less than a year. So of course you're going to be larger than me. But here we are talking about the things that we do, and they're similar. And don't let the comparison factor in this business journey to keep you from keeping on and believing in your path and in believing in your journey. And I think that
100%. Yeah.
I think there's so many people that get caught up in like comparing themselves to everybody else around them. And I think that I'd love to hear what you do to really help people break out of that comparison game that can be so toxic and preventative to success.
Oh, no, yeah, and I'm going back to what you said. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm 100% on board with you, and excited to bring you on our show, because you're in that process as well to get on our podcast. And probably the 90% of the people that we bring on our show do the same exact thing that I do. But it's like good music. The way I look at it, and this will lead right into the answer to that. Like, what's your favorite type of music, Alison?
Oh gosh, I love all music. So as soon as she said music, I was like, oh my gosh, are we going to talk about music next? So lately I've been listening to a gentleman by the name of Trevor Hall. And his music is very So he practices yoga and Buddhism. And so there's a lot of like spirituality and maybe new aginess to it, but like the lyrics and the tones of his music, and you can feel conscious intention in
Yeah.
his music. So you like feel the music.
Yeah.
But I listen to all the things. So
So so Trevor Hall, let's use Trevor Hall for instance. Like Trevor Hall music, he's a musician just as much as you're a musician and I'm a musician. And the music you play and the music I play, though they're both music, but the way that the music is played may resonate towards other people than others, right? So like, and I think that's where people get mixed up with business. There are 7 billion people on this planet, and we don't need all of them. Thinking about the US, what, 300 million people in the US, or think about how many businesses are in the US. It's like a dog chasing a car or a dog collecting bones. You're not going to be able to eat all of them if you get all of them in one place. So it's like, why don't we focus on the ones that we can serve, or the ones that like the music that we play? You know what I mean? So you're going to come into my community, you're going to share some stuff, and my community's going to be like, dang, I love Donald music. I love Alison music. Can I get both albums? Why not? Get both of them. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that's the way you collaborate. And I think what happens though, when I did track and field growing up in Jamaica, and there's that little stereotype too, the Jamaicans run, and we do. I have some trophies I can probably show you in the other office. But the thing that happens though in track and field, the moment an individual takes their, because you have to be very aerodynamic. That's why they run in those little short shorts and tight shirts, because you want to be aerodynamic. If I am running towards the finish line and I'm turning to look towards Allison, I am no longer aerodynamic. So I am the wind drag. I'm slowing myself down, looking back at you. What I need to do is look at that clock ahead and see, am I going to beat the time that I had yesterday? Am I going to beat, I did this in 12 seconds yesterday. Can I get it in 11:58 today and be as aerodynamic as possible? Sometimes you have people ahead of you, and that gives you a good thing to work towards, because you might say, well, I am not as fast as Barbara, but running with Barbara, I ran 12 seconds yesterday, but I just finished at 11:30 because Barbara helped me to get better. And I am focusing on being my best. You know, you run with the right people. And I've seen, and that's the same thing I've done. If I'm the fastest person in a race, quote to speak, quote unquote, if I'm the most successful person in a room, then I get into a new room where I'm not the most successful person. And that, it's not necessarily competition, but it's the rising tide raise all boat, because you have a different level of thinking. And then I want to outbeat what I did yesterday or my last year or last month. My goals here on the wall for my revenue, and that keeps there. But I don't look at Microsoft goals or look at Grant Cardone's goals or look at, what Jeffrey Gitomer did, because that's totally different music that they're playing than I am playing, to a different genre of people. And that concept of competition, compete against yourself and beat you yesterday, helps me and also help those that I work with as well.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Um, so I'm gonna kind of pivot and ask you some different questions. So you've got a lot of sales experience, and you and I both know that when people, I just actually I just got off a call with it was a sales call and I closed it. So yay for sales. But this
I was tempted to say, don't do my episode. Go and do another one, because those are the best times to close another deal, right after you close one. Like, forget about me, Allison.
no, this is wonderful. I was so excited for this conversation. But so this person, what she said resonated. It resonated with me because it was my journey too, and I hear it all the time. Is that people don't start their business to be salespeople, but then they quickly realize that they have to be salespeople to have a successful business. And you have a lot of sales experience from your background. And I came from this unique background where I actually only had 1 year of sales, but I tried to launch my business a couple of times without that formal sales training. What is it that how do you help people that have absolutely no sales background? How do you really get them to that place of seeing themselves as a salesperson?
Yeah, that scares a lot of people when you talk to them about selling. I mean, they break into hives. I mean, I have clients, same kind of thing, where they'll sweat bullets if you talk to them anything about sales, but they know they need to have it. And what I tend to do is, if you ask those individuals, how are you going to sell, grow your business and get more sales, they'll probably freak out. But if you ask that person, tell me, why do you do what you do? And they'll say, well, I love the software. I mean, I knew when I was doing these, if it's maybe they created some kind of software. I knew how it was to keep track of employees and to do all of this stuff. So I created a solution because that was a pain for me, and I want to help other people to not have that pain. Great. So you're a problem solver then, right? Yeah, I'm a problem solver. So if you could solve people's problems, would you be open to helping somebody, hearing about that? It's like, yeah, it's your moral obligation now, right? Something that works, it's your moral obligation to do that. Yeah. So let's go out and solve some problems. Let's find some problems and let's tell people about it. Not everyone's going to be ready for your solution right now with their problems, but we can find them and we can help them solve it. And then it's like, oh, that's what you're doing. Because I think when people get the connotation with sales, the idea is based on the movies. And unfortunately, we never see okay, I never say never. There's some movies out there with good salespeople, but for the most part, a movie about a really good salesperson, imagine her just doing her job and just doing so well and being professional, sending the follow-up emails and not being pushy. It would be a boring movie. And none of us would probably watch it. We're like, where's the plot? There's the drama. That's why the crappy salespeople are the ones we watch movies on. We see the movies on. Like, for instance, we saw this weekend, Catch Me If You Can. Mm-hmm. He was a con artist, for goodness sakes, but he knew how to sell ideas to people. And you see movies like Glenn Ross, all these other movies, and you see the guys in the old school, the car salesperson, used car salesperson. That's what we get because we're selling something where it's something that people don't want, that we're pushing on them, and that's not true. But in a true professional selling situation, you have a solution to a problem that your customer or ideal person has, and it's your moral obligation to at least express to them or help them come to a knowledge of that said solution to solve that problem. Because it would be kind of selfish of us to know how to solve this HR challenge but not willing to tell other people about it. And that's how I help to wrap my individuals, the people I get a chance to work with around that, who have the apprehension about selling. And it comes back down to rejection too. I'm afraid they might think about me. Well, like, let's stop thinking about you. Let's stop. It's not about you. It's no longer about you now. When you have a solution for the world, it's no longer about you. It's about how can I help other people. And some people may not get it right away. You might get don't get your feelings all into it because it's not for you right now. It's not for them. They don't even know what the problem or the solution is yet. So let's go on and find the other person that's ready right now.
Right.
And that helps me and helps our clients.
Oh, I love that so much. It makes me think of one of the first things that I'll do with my clients is really doing some of that why, like uncovering the why and asking them about their values. And I say that sales is an act of whatever your top value is. So like for me, connection is one of my top values. So sales is an act of connecting for me, connecting with an individual, finding out what their needs or problems are, and then connecting them with a solution. If service is a top value, if love is a top value, like sales is just an act of that. You're bringing your solution to the world. And we're so aligned. It's like, this is so great. I feel like we could probably talk for hours and hours about this and evangelize to the world about how sales is the path to profits. Which, I was born with the last name Proffit. I didn't change it for my business. So it was meant to be. You can evangelize sales with Proffit Coach here. So there's some marketing play on this. We'll have to figure that out for your podcast episode.
I see more collaboration in that episode.
Yeah, it sounds so great. I'm really excited. So tell us, like, what is, let's do some tips. Like, what are two tips that you want to share with our listeners here today that will help them go out later on today or tomorrow and feel more connected with sales for their business?
Yeah, the first one that I would say, I mean, just straight off the bat, is there are, going back to reiterate what I kind of shared already, that there are people out there that have the need of what you have, of a solution. They have a problem for which you have a solution, but they don't know how to find you. That's the very first one. And if when we can really wrap our minds around that, then we can understand why people say it's a numbers game. And it's not really a numbers game. It's just you have to, the more people you get a chance to express to, the more conversation you can have, then you're going to find people that have that need. And what we want to do is to make that more effective. We don't want to send our message. Go ahead. We don't want to, the guy you mentioned, his name is Trevor Hall.
Trevor Hall, musician, yes.
Trevor Hall, it would be kind of silly for Trevor Hall to do a marketing campaign to everyone on the planet Earth in a Facebook message, a Facebook ad. It would be kind of silly, right? But Trevor will segment. He'll probably do people who like music in this industry and like New World, and he'll like yoga, and it lives in, in Florida, and they bought a song within the past, 2 years off of Spotify. That's detail. So then Trevor, is everyone in that pool of maybe 100,000 people are going to be willing to buy? Probably not. Not everyone's going to see his ads, or probably everyone's not going to respond to it. But that's the best chance, the best group of people in that little market that Trevor can go for. And it's the same concept with us. When we are going out, this increases our opportunity. We niche down, we focus, and we know the mission. We are trying to help people solve blank problem, whatever that solution that you have. And they're ready and they're looking, but they don't know how. And you're going to come. And you probably had those conversations many times too, Alison, in your career when you were selling, where you call into somebody and like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you called. I need the solution. Or, oh my goodness, this is great. Thank you so much. I didn't know about it. I do have this problem. And it's like, yeah, they needed to hear it. And it takes work. And it's not sales. It's not for the individuals that really just want a quick fix, or somebody who's looking for a silver bullet.
Yeah.
Sales is for the people who are willing to grind and are willing to work hard and willing to create unique ways to get their message out. And they have that belief that they can succeed, because when you have that belief, you're going to do whatever. It doesn't become work. I mean, for you, probably me too, you probably recognize it when you're selling. It's like, I love it. I love solving a problem. And I know I have to go through these patches before I can get to the nice stuff. And I remember I went to school out west, in not too far from you, Brigham Young, and driving out to California, sometimes you're going through Vegas and you're going through the desert, and you go through that nasty, annoying, hot desert, but I'm going to get to LA soon enough and I'll be able to see the beach, or you're going up to Huntington Beach or whatever. You're going to eventually get there. So the same concept, go through the bad, eventually you get to the good, and you hustle through it because of the belief and the knowledge of what will come. So that's the first one. The second thing that I would tell you is going back to this idea of it's not just like the mindset, but it's just let's evolve from mindset, but it's more tactical, and it's around prospecting, right? One of the things that I find is that people give up too easy when it comes towards prospecting. Well, I sent them the message, Donald. I believe we can solve the problem, but it didn't work. Well, the message didn't work because I am too busy. The prospect, I have a lot of things going on in life. I have a kid, I have a wife, I have work, I have sports, I have friends, I have my family. I have tons of other stuff that I'm doing, but if you can get to me where I am, then you increase your chances. So you might say, this little tip again, you might send a person an email. Well, emails are not always the best way. Maybe you can try LinkedIn as well. And, even this is a crazy idea. Maybe you could pick up the phone and call them. And even more gnarly is actually sending them something.
This is a thing, like dial the number, pick up the phone.
It's not just for watching Netflix.
No.
And then sending them gift cards, or send them things in the mail. We use postcards a lot within our business, and handwritten notes we send to them in that process. But it's all part of that flow process, or what people call cadence, that you might do. And the concept that many follow now is called the omni-channel approach, where you get to people where they are, hit them on every different idea. Because again, if I have belief that this group, this niche of 100,000 people that I'm focusing on has a problem that I could solve, I need to do my very best, hustle, grind, whatever it takes to present that solution to them, whether that's through email, phone call, LinkedIn message, and or snail mail. But it's, again, there, you can work with Alison and she can give you ways to create your messaging, but it's not just, buy my product. It's help them to first attract them, then second, help them recognize the solution to that there's a problem, and third, that you have a solution, and see if they're open to having a conversation on hearing that solution. But those are my two things, and I can go on for days on this, so you have to stop.
I know, right? No, I'm just sitting here. I'm like, yes, let's keep talking. It's a great stuff. This is stuff people need to hear. And it is interesting. So we do some similar things. There's some slightly different ways that I position some of it, and we'll reserve that for when I am on your podcast. We'll keep people kind of like on the hook. And it's about the different approach to the hustle and grind. So I can't wait to share a little bit more about my views on some of that. And
yeah, I'm excited to hear your music.
yes, it's going to be so great. So Donald, I'd love for you to be able to share with people, how can they get in touch with you? Do you have anything new or exciting coming out that you'd love to share with the world that you're doing or launching, or just how can people get more of your music?
Get some of our music by going to Spotify. Got a new what do they call it? New song that's streaming.
That's right. Yeah.
You can find me
next on the Sales Evangelist playlist.
If you want to engage with me, you can go anywhere and search Donald C. Kelly, and you'll pop up. We've worked on that branding for a while. But if you really want to engage with me, just go on LinkedIn and search Donald C. Kelly and send me a message. Tell me that you heard me on Alison's podcast, and I would love to engage with you. I connect with individuals that connect with me on LinkedIn, so that's the best way. And if you want to learn about our brand and our organization, simply go to the salesevangelist.com, and you'll get a chance to see some of the content we produce on our podcast, as well as some of the programs that we have. And our newest program is this one that we're partnering with the Pacific Institute, and it's on thought pattern for high performing salespeople. And it's a mindset course, but mindset is focusing on selling. And that one, you can find more details about it by going to the salesevangelist.com/mindset.
Beautiful. Donald, I'm so grateful for the time we got to spend together here today.
Me too. Thank you.
And I see some partnerships in our future. Not sure what that looks like, but more to come on that one day in the future. Planting the seed, letting it germinate and bloom. So again, I encourage you all to connect here with Donald C. Kelly at the Sales Evangelist. We'll make sure down in the show description to add links to those different channels, and connect with him. He's a great human, great salesperson. And my name is Alison Proffit. This is Proffit Talks. To connect with us, just look on all the channels, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn for Proffit Coach. And that's profit like making money, but it's spelled with 2 F's because more is better. Thanks for tuning in to Proffit Talks. Go out there and sell with love. Thanks, everybody.